Hey guys, Cop Customs. Quick update here on this. I guess this video is going to be more like a vlog because I'm just going to talk about my thoughts with this custom as I'm going through it. I was thinking about these chains and how they sit on the shoulders like this. Not quite right because I don't know, they're not like sitting close enough to his torso. There's too much wobble here. Then I was thinking, well, maybe I can carve out the inside of these chains, just the inside, to let them sit a little closer to his. And then I was thinking, boy, overthinking a custom, which I always do, and which is why I don't get customs done. Maybe I should get real chains. Hey, I got a real fabric shirt. Well, I'll go get gold chains from the Dollar Tree, right? But I can't do that because if I decide to go that far, I'm never going to get this custom done. And I'm going to be adding on a little, and then it's never going to be perfect. So I just need to learn to run with what I got, finish it up, and that's what I'm going to go forward. Maybe if any of you are having the same kind of issues with your customs, I know a lot of people start them and they never finish them. I have that problem. I have like a whole bunch of customs that I don't finish and they're like half done. The problem is I overthink it. So I'm going to try to simplify it, keep it simple, stupid. From the beginning, what I was planning on doing, just do it. Doesn't have to be perfect. And let's get it done. Here's another quick thing I want to show you guys with this custom. When you're putting the shirt on, this is the best way. The arms up as far as you can with the biceps like turned sideways so that they won't be sticking out here and catching on the fabric. And when you're taking it off and putting it on, watch these seams and make sure you're not snagging them. That one looks like it's starting to snag a little bit, so I got to be careful. So just to give you guys a heads up, that's how I put it on, just like that. And I got to use both hands, so I'm going to cut out of the video now. So I have the carving work done. First thing I did was I carved down the forearms. Cut off about 2 millimeters off the sleeve as well. Just cut that a little bit right there. And these now fit. These bracers will fit snugly once I have the soft goods shirt back on. And once I get them on, I don't plan on taking them off again. So that'll be on like that over the soft goods shirt. And you won't see the shaving. I don't have to sand it, don't have to paint it, nothing like that. And then, okay, these roadblock hands, I had to cut the peg down because it was too long. This is the original peg I need to match up. So I need to build up this peg to make it the same width as that. And then I need to put that little nub. I need to build in that little nub to give it a little bit of friction to stay in. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be a custom figure, so that nub doesn't have to be like factory spec, like perfect. As long as it just has enough friction to where it's not falling out of the arm, I figure that's good enough for me. I'm not going to sell this custom anyway, so as long as it's good enough to pose it. And then these chains here, as you can see, I carved them. I carved them quite a bit. I took off like a whole one layer of the gold on the bottom here, and the same on this side, just to get them to sit a little closer to his torso. And then I carved out a little more, just kind of fiddled with it, trying to get a little more thin, to sit on his shoulders a little closer. And like that. With the soft goods, it's going to stick on a little bit better. And the neck peg here, you can see I cut that down a few millimeters. And the sides here, the sides of the neck, I cut down just a little bit there. Had to be careful because I think right there, that's what's keeping the joint in there. So if I cut a little bit further, it would have knocked it out. Would have screwed up the whole piece. Would have had to get a new one. Okay, so that sits about right. He was having a little bit of giraffe neck. Not too bad to wear. It was unacceptable, but a little too much for me to be happy with. So there he goes, a couple of millimeters shorter. And that way, it's also going to differentiate him from Roadblock, make him a little bit more shorter than Roadblock. So what's left now, this is kind of a tricky part. I have to get my gloves on and build up this peg, and then I need to sand it. you know, a lot. So it's going to be a little tricky. Then I got to get these roadblock hands. I got to build up that peg and sand it. Same thing with these that came with the Mr. T figure Ultimates, I think. Yeah, I gotta have to build up that peg too, because none of them fit in these holes. They're a little too big. All right. This with super glue and baking soda, and the way to do that is you just basically with the tip of the super glue dispenser, you drip just enough to create like a layer of super glue. And then right here is my, no, it's not my Coke tray, that's my baking soda. You put a little bit of baking soda somewhere, and wear gloves because this is super hazardous to your skin. You pick up a little bit with a pinch and you just sprinkle it over the area that you drop super glue. You know, turn it around, get it distributed evenly, and then, you know, wait a couple, maybe 30 seconds or so, and then you get some. These head joints are different than anything I've ever done before, because you see how it has like a separate cup in there, and there's like a ridge along the middle of the cup that holds that ball in. So you have to, I had to get like just the right length of where the ball is most wide so that it gets past that ridge. Once you get it past that ridge, it holds in pretty good. And here's the same thing with the wrists. They look ugly, but when they're inserted, you're not going to see that. That, again, is the crystalline super glue and baking soda mixture. You use a knife to like carve the little ridge here. The little ridge. And I use the originals for comparison for size and where the ridge is. See? Little ridge. There's a little ridge. So that they stick in good. Just basically like same thing with these fist hands. It's like basic physics. You gotta figure out calculations by eyeballing it and carving and sanding and adding this stuff. That's how you get fittings to work. But oh, I put on Beachhead's leg knife holster on this guy. I heated up the leg and I popped the pin out, took the whole thing off, and then put it on from the top down, little by little with jewelry pliers. And it fits perfectly. And the only thing about Beachhead's knife rig is this fucking shitty knife they gave him. What the hell? I mean, dude, this looks like a Dollar Tree knife. Anyways, I'm gonna shave this down. I'm going to shave these corners down with the sander, with the sandpaper, and I'm going to paint at least the blades silver. I'm going to try, you know, to honor Mr. T's legacy and paint white over the fluorescent orange. It might work because the fluorescent orange works as kind of a base coat for the white. It might work. This is sprayed. I think the original color is black, because you could see in there inside the joint that there's a little bit of black in there, like the orange was spray painted on at the factory. So anyways, either way, I'm going to try to paint this white, honor Mr. T's legacy, and I'm going to paint these laces, these boot laces, because I was looking closer at it and like it would be a crime to just leave these laces the same color as the rest of the shoe. Mr. T has a thing with having, I thought this was just specific to the Ultimates figure, but if you notice on that figure, he has on one boot blue laces, on the other boot red laces. So that's a symbol, just like the socks up covering his pants, of the poverty that he came from. That's what he says. And if you look up Mr. T's interviews or articles about him, he says he doesn't want to forget his roots and where he came from. He came from poverty. He came from the projects of Chicago. So he always, whatever he had, he wore. You know, if he had one color that was mismatched, he would wear it anyway, because it's still better than, he's always remembering the people that don't have any socks to wear, so, or shoes. So he would have always one lace, one color, and another lace, the other color. I don't know if he did that in the A-Team or not, but obviously it's on that figure for wrestling. So that's the next steps here. That's what I'm going to do. Also, I'm going to use sandpaper to rub off this Eye of the Tiger, although it's really cool. It's a shame, but... Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. This, paint, these. I am not going to try to sandpaper that because I don't want to scuff up all this nice paint around it. So I'm going to paint that. I am going to very carefully try to sandpaper these out, though. So I got some Citadel, Games Workshop Citadel acrylic black, flat black, and it's excellent. I think it's called Abaddon black. It's a great flat black. I'm going to use that. And I have a belt coming in. And the other thing is I started to try to sand this, but it made the strap noticeably like thinner to get through that orange. So it kind of had me concerned. I don't like the way it's making it feel thinner. That if I'm putting on this vest, I might break it. So I'm not going to sand that anymore. I'm going to take this Magic Eraser melamine sponge, and this is the cheap kind. If you buy the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, it's a lot more expensive, but you could look up melamine sponge and you could buy them in bulk on Amazon. Well, you're staring at a hair on my sponge. You could buy these in bulk on Amazon or eBay. I have a huge bag of them that I've been going through for years and years. But this is great for surface preparation for paint because it just very finely like just scuffs up the surface and just takes off any kind of residue or oil or grease or dirt off of the surface. But you have to be careful with this because this will take off paint. Especially if you painted it, it takes it off really easy. This will take off factory paint as well. You can strip a figure with details with this if you work at it for steady for a long time. So that's all the update I want to make real quick. All right, I'll get back to here. Hey guys, Couple Cop Customs here, and this custom is pretty much nearly complete. There's just a couple details I want to add on. So this is not the final figure spin and review, but it's pretty much done. So I'm really happy with how the little paint that I had to do came out. Look at this flag. I didn't think I would make it look like it. Well, these stars are not really stars if you look close. They're just kind of dots. But I painted this whole thing with white, about 4 or 5 layers of very thin, very loose acrylic white, flat white. Had to tape off the whole legs and then raise this a little bit, and even underneath is painted a little. Not as much as not as nice as the front, but nobody's going to look under there. And the shoes I removed, and I painted those like I was going to over the fluorescent orange, and the same thing. They took about 4 layers each, 4 or 5 layers each of white to get the good white coverage. The laces, when you're painting small line detail like this, it's not going to come out perfect the first time, which it didn't. I mean, I don't think that's like perfect. I don't think that's the best I can do, but it's good enough for shoelaces. What I did is I went back with the white to cut around the corners of where I slopped up a little bit and missed the lace to get it as good as, passable. And Mr. T's got his little emerald jewel in the middle there of his chains. This gold is actually painted on here. I decided not to paint underneath because nobody's going to be looking at the bottom of his chains anyway. And this is my paint on the top. Yeah, it's like lighter and brighter. So for some reason, Tester's Model Master acrylic gold is really dark, and it kind of sucks. But it is very metallic. But it's too dark. So actually, there's the cheap Walmart brand gold. I dry brushed over it when I was done with adding the Model Masters on, and that's this Folk Art Enamels metallic gold acrylic paint, gloss finish. This stuff, you can see it's like really light and shiny. That's a good gold color. So this stuff is really thick also. If you try to thin it, it will just not work. If you try to thin it, it screws up the pigment of the metal flake in it and everything. So the only thing this is really good for is dry brushing. So that worked out all right. I just dry brushed it over the Tester's Model Gold. This was the Goofy green beachhead knife that I was talking about. I don't want to take it out of his hand because it's super hard to take out and remove from this roadblock hand. But the hilt I ended up painting black, because if it does, the black paint does rub off on his hand is already black, so nobody's going to see the difference. And then that is Tester's Model Master Silver with Citadel. These are magical. Every customizer should have a bottle of this, at least the one that's not gloss. This is gloss, this is regular. Every customizer should have this. This is perfect. Just plain black wash. And it's already mixed. All you do is dip your brush in there and just brush it on wherever you want to. Let the paint just flow into the cracks by itself, and it just paints itself. The gloss, not only does it do the shade, but it also adds like a protective kind of finish on it. So you can see some of it drop down the side of the bottle, and it's like, it's hard. So it's kind of like a sealant as well, and it also is gloss, so it will reflect. You could use it on metal. So I used it on my knight from a previous video, the Dark Templar from Mythic Legions. That's what made it look good with the metal shading. And this gun is actually from Damn Toys, a Damn Toys accessory like loose lot that I bought on eBay like a year ago or something. There's a bunch of loose accessories, but they're kind of small for G.I. Joe classified, so that's why I don't use them a lot. But this gun hopefully will fit a belt I ordered. I ordered the Valiverse belt that I think I mentioned in a previous vlog update. That's coming, should be coming any day now. Hopefully this gun will fit, this pistol will fit well into that belt that I'm going to put around him here. Yeah, painted the shoulder straps and painted these side straps on the side of his legs. So there's no more orange on him. What's up, guys? Kobo Cop Customs, quick update video today. Today is a new day. I am doing a couple more things to this I didn't mention in my last videos. First of all, I decided to go ahead and sculpt with some green stuff. It's called, if you want to look for it, there's a tube of blue and there's a tube of yellow in here. What you do is you just mix equal amounts, knead them together till they're green, put them on, and within a few hours you got your sculpt nice and solid. And this stuff will stick very, very quickly to anything. But yet, if you use water when you're sculpting, and here are my sculpting tools, you get some of these dental tools on eBay, real cheap from China or whatever. They have these like silicone tips on one side and like a hard ball on the other. Like here, that one broke off, but here's like they got little balls on the other. These are good tools for sculpting. Dental tools are good for the hobby. Then I got a couple for texturing in case I need to. And like this one, this is actually a acne extractor. Anyways, this one is very helpful. It's just got like a little pry on it, like a little pry tip for making nice edges. Anyways, I decided to sculpt the rings because what the hell, if I'm going to put earrings, which are by the way done, this is how they look. Instead of sculpting an earring on there, I just painted a little dab of gold up where it connects to the ear. It's kind of hard to notice much, it's too small. So anyways, those look nice. I like how they came out. I figured if I'm going to do the feathers in the ears, why would I not, at least do the knuckles? I gotta make it complete, right? So that's the next thing. I gotta paint those gold. I decided that these gold bracers, I'm going to go ahead and paint to match the rest of his gold, but I'm not going to sculpt anything on him because I've seen pictures. I watched a little bit more A-Team, and his bracers usually match the rest of his gold, so it doesn't seem right to not paint him. The other thing, this gun. I don't think this is the right size. But I'm trying to figure out if this gun is too small. To me, it looks too small because look at this clip, how small it is. I mean, that's not a 1/12 scale. What I'm used to seeing in 1/12 scale, unless the bullets are smaller. But I like this because this is the actual closest thing to the A-Team gun that he used. It has this stock that moves up and down, move back and forth, I mean. And I could put a little strap, I'm going to put a little strap on it and paint it like like wooden brown, so he could have it over his shoulder. And the other thing I wanted to do is I am going to use a sealant, a flat. I still have this Model Master acrylic. Now, I think I mentioned in a previous video, but this company, they don't make these anymore, but these are really good quality model paints in acrylic for action figures. They're they run very smoothly. They are easy to paint. They almost paint themselves. It's hard to see brush strokes in this, even if you're a crappy painter, and they dry pretty solid and they're very durable. I've heard people use Vallejo. I might have to start moving to them. I heard their gold is really good. People use several other brands. Anyways, I'm not going to get too much into that. But this is a flat clear acryl, just a cover-up, a seal. I'm going to use this. It goes on milky, by the way. It goes on milky and it dries clear. I'm going to put a thin coat over the spots that I painted just to protect the paint a little bit. This, I already put floor care finish. I can't think of the name of the brand right now. Pledge floor care finish. I do have a big container of that, and I put some in this little dripper bottle. I am going to I did already the gold on that, so it has kind of like a shinier finish. I've heard that you're not supposed to use any kind of gloss finish on top of metallic paints. I don't know why, because to me, it did make it shine a little bit more. So I don't know why you would not use that on top of them. It's not reacting with it. It's not making it come up. It's not. Anyways, I go ahead and use it. Anyways, they advise not to. So we'll see if this is going to be his final weapon or not. Oh, another thing I didn't mention about this Damn Toys gun. The coolest thing about this gun and why I want to stay with it and use it for him is because it's actually die-cast metal. You can't get that with Valaverse. You can't get that with Hasbro. This is die-cast metal gun. It's freaking cool that it's the real deal metal.